Okay, it's that time for the show. It's called Cleared for Takeoff. Our aviation enthusiast, he is Rich Kaplan.
Thank you, Howie. Well, this Thursday was a plane crash up in Plainville, Connecticut. Authorities have identified the pilot who was killed with his small airplane crash near an airport in central Connecticut, the town of Plainville. Officials say 67-year-old Donald Ekberg of Burlington was flying the twin-engine Rattan Defiant, which is an experimental aircraft. Now, what's important about this is not an airplane that you go out to a store and you buy. It's a kit aircraft. You assemble it. It takes about 3 years to build these airplanes. They're high performance. Dick Rattan and Bert Rattan are the ones who are most recognized with Spaceship One. That was the first airplane privately funded to go into space. So, Rattan aircraft are very, very sophisticated, very aerodynamic. They're not your typical airplanes, Howie. And he was flying the twin-engine Rattan Defiant aircraft when it crashed at the Plainville landfill near Robertson Airport on Thursday morning. There were no other people on board. Witnesses described seeing a plane flying at low altitude before the crash. Plainville police say Ekberg died at the site of the wreck. Authorities say he had taken off from Robertson Airport, but they weren't sure how long he had been flying for or where he went. Now, the FAA said it will investigate and the National Transportation Safety Board will determine the probable cause of the accident. Now, I have a couple of theories as to what may have caused this. First theory that I have is that it's a kit aircraft, mainly the fact that these are airplanes that are assembled by their owners. They're not planes that you just buy built and ready to go. So when you're buying a kit aircraft, you're looking at instructions, you're looking at, it's like assembling a plastic model kit, Howie. But the difference is this is an actual airplane that you're assembling. And my theory is that possibly something went wrong. That maybe it could be a number of variables involved. Unfortunately, my theory is that this could have been pilot error, this could have been weather related, it could have been a number of issues. But the big thing right now is the fact that it sheds light on small airplane safety, which I discussed last week. We need to make certain that the planes that we fly are ready to go, that they are in top pristine mechanical condition, that the fuel is proper, because there are two different types of fuel. A lot of people don't know this, but propeller airplanes use what's known as AV fuel, and jet aircraft use what's known as Jet A, which is pure refined kerosene. Now, what's fascinating about this is that a long time ago, Howie, there was an incident in which a twin-engined aircraft taking off from Pennsylvania for a public airport in Farmingdale got the wrong fuel and crashed. So it's very important that you always pay attention to what goes into your aircraft. I say this all the time. I'm not a pilot. I do flight simulators, but I know enough to know that if you're going to fly, you got to be responsible. You have to know your airplane inside and out. There are too many of these crashes happening. I think the FAA needs to really take a good hard look at the regulations, look at the FAR AIM regulations, and possibly rewrite some of them, because I believe that safety is paramount, especially with people who live in the beautiful areas of Long Beach, Oceanside Island Park. You're right next to JFK, and every day you guys deal with the aircraft takeoffs and landings and so forth. So it's important that safety be the #1 issue when flying. I can't say that enough. Secondly, if you are building a kit airplane, make sure that you know what you're getting yourself into. The Rattan Defiant is a high-performance twin-engine airplane. I wonder if this pilot knew what he was getting himself into. I don't know. I can't speak for the dead, unfortunately. I can only speak for the living, but from what I am waiting for is the preliminary NTSB report. Once it comes out, I will update everybody on what they found, and hopefully we'll learn from it. That's the purpose of the NTSB, Howie, is to learn. We learn from each crash.
Okay, great job, Rich Kaplan, and I'm sure next week I'll have another great aviation report.